What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, RizGod, Riz God, baby, bringing you another episode of the RizPod. It's episode 9. Wow, 9 episodes in, and I can't say it enough. I love all you guys. I love doing the podcast. But man, oh man, what an episode do I have for you guys today? I am not only joined by a first time guest, but we're talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, as well as this guest, and that's New York Knicks basketball. Go New York, go New York, go. But before we really get into the topic of today, let's introduce the guest. And like I was alluding to before, I'm a Knicks fan ever since I was a kid. But man, is this person arguably, no doubtedly, one of the biggest Knicks fans that I know. And let's cut this short and let's bring him on to the pod. It's Mr. Swade Mamba. Swade, how are we doing?
Go New York, go New York, go! What up,
Go New
Rich
York.
God, my man? How's it going? How's it going?
It's going great. I'm so excited to have you on. Listen, the Knicks are killing it not only in this last stretch, but so far this season. I'm really excited to not only talk about the Knicks this season so far, but what to expect, honestly, for the rest of the season. So, really, before we kick off, I kind of want you to maybe allude to me, to the pod. How are you feeling about the Knicks in general? Is it something that New York should be happy about? Is there hope in New York? Like, what's your overall thoughts on the Knicks so far?
Yo, New York, in my eyes, we are always gonna be dogs, okay? Whether we're having a losing season or winning season, I'm a walking Knicks contradiction over here, okay? But let's get on the realistic side though. Yo, we're looking really good. Listen, the Knicks' last problem for the past decade was we never had a legit point guard. Now, yeah, you hear the Raymond Felton, you hear that out of the prime Jason Kidd, Chris Duhon, but no, like legit point guard and Jalen Brunson. Yo, listen, it's a magical thing we got coming and going along. So I'm
And
excited.
and
I'm excited. I'm more excited for the future than this season. Honestly, I needed like a fast forward button.
I just want to piggyback on that. And I've been on the pod showing so much love to Jalen Brunson because that boy is a dog. Obviously, the joke is to everybody on the pod that's so funny is obviously I'm a Knicks fan, but I love so many players in the NBA, alluding like Luka, Giannis, all these guys, and like the joke within my friend group, especially with Swade, is I'm a fake Knicks fan. So it's so funny that we're here discussing it. But I have to say, seeing someone like Jalen Brunson play with Luka and coming to New York, everyone's like, this guy's overpaid. He's going to be garbage. And seeing what he's doing, the man should have been an all-star. That guy is the Knicks' closer. And like you said, he is the
Biggest snub this year.
I agree wholeheartedly. And like you were saying, he is the point guard that the Knicks needed. And man, is he carrying them on their back. Obviously, you got people doing their thing. Julius Randle doing his thing. Immanuel Quickley doing his thing. All these guys, they are doing their thing. And we'll touch up on them. But Jalen Brunson deserves his credit because that man is hooping. But really just kind of going into it right now, let's talk about the Knicks' current state. And look, they're on a 2-game losing streak. We're aware of that. They lost to the Hornets and they just lost to the Kings last night. But let's not forget, before these 2 games, the Knicks were on a 9-game winning streak, on the hottest tear of anybody in the season. So, Swade, let me ask you, are the Knicks the hottest team in the NBA right now?
Oh man. You know, I would have said yes if Jalen Brunson never went down. Now, even if we would have lost those games with Jalen Brunson, that would have been a completely different story. Um, the game against Charlotte, we choked that game. We were up 16 points, up 9 points in the fourth quarter. Should have never lost that game. Then the game against Sacramento last night, down 20, came back. Little faults in that game where we could have been able to win that one. But the reason why I will not say they are not the hottest team right now is because one, they are not playing with Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson is the biggest benefactor of that team. Now, Julius Randle, I give him respect and props. Right now he's like number 7 in NBA ranking for MVP. So, he's doing his thing out there. But at the end of the day, one thing, and I will forever stamp this and stand by this, is Julius Randle will never be the person to be able to run an NBA team. He's always going to need somebody. And just the past 2 games itself shows you. Now, yeah, they won that game in Boston without him. Big game from them. But these past 2 games just show you one thing is simple things, especially going down to the fourth quarter, closing. Julius Randle tends to choke, and it's hard. Not saying it's his fault, but it's hard. Um, the hottest team. So I'm gonna have to say the hottest team in the NBA, in my opinion, right now, and we just lost to them, is the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah,
In my opinion,
and
they play team ball. Listen, I can't hate on team ball. They play offense. They're like ranked. Not they got the number 1 rating on offense right now. They're like
yeah.
top. They're like top 5 in defense. Like I can't stress that enough.
And to kind of piggyback on that, I'll go on the Kings take a little bit because I'm glad that you brought them up because obviously not a lot of people talk about Sacramento. They're almost the second seed in the West if they're not already, and
They just
they are
they just
playing.
they just hit it. They just hit it with
Yeah,
that win against us.
and dude, we were watching it last night. De'Aaron Fox is something special. The guy wasn't even 100%, and he was giving buckets. He's quick, he's elusive, he's throwing it on people, he's finishing on contact. The jump that he's taken with this team, along with Domantas Sabonis and the likes of Kevin Herter and all of them, have been amazing. And obviously, the Knicks lost last night to them. And I want to go back to what you were saying about Julius Randle because I'm not gonna lie, Julius Randle's taken quite a few strays on the pod. Like when we ever talk about the Knicks, the thing with Julius Randle, and I think you pointed out, is he doesn't really get involved in the offense if he doesn't have the ball. And that's going to be a problem in the fourth quarter. I think if you look at even the Kings or if you look at even the Hornets game where he stunk it up, like Julius Randle is an ISO ball kind of player, or he's a catch and shoot from three. Like I got to give him his credit. Like he can put the ball in the hole.
Even
He
sometimes his
has his
catch and shoot
moments.
from 3. He'll probably need to take like a quick dribble, step
Jab,
back,
step,
side
step
step.
back. And 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 that's the joke that we have with him because
Julius
he
Randle
can't
gives
just catch
me
and shoot.
Julius Randle gives me like a 6'9", 6'10" version of J.R. Smith. I shit you not.
And
Like
I would have to agree because his shot selection is so questionable because your shot is right there. Oh, 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 jab step, jab step, jab step. It's ridiculous. Um, but no, I think you make a great point. I think Julius Randle, sure, he's the all star. I mean, against Miami, went berserk. That double bang Mike Breen called. I mean, the
mhm.
guy had 8 threes or 7 threes. Like when he's hot, nobody in the league can guard him. It's just he pick and chooses his days. And I think what's going to deter me from saying the Knicks are the hottest team in basketball is they have a lot of players like that. Like this guy right here, RJ Barrett, that I have a signed jersey of. Love the guy, but he is the definition of Mr. Inconsistent. That man will go
I'm with
on a
you.
streak.
I'm with you.
He will score 25, 25. Like against the Celtics on that double overtime game, RJ Barrett was master class. And then the other games before that, he's shooting 4 from 18 from the field. Like Brody, that you can't do that. If the Knicks want to compete, Julius Randle needs to be more involved. He needs to pass the ball. He needs to, and like, yes, he gets the assists, but it's because he gets doubled in the paint. And then RJ needs to be a lot more consistent. Yes, the Knicks are hot, and I think they're giving us a sense of like it factor, and I can see them going far. But with them losing to Charlotte, I mean, the Kings are a good team, and I don't want to stray away from the fact that the Knicks beat the Nets twice, they beat the Heat, they beat the Celtics twice, and they beat the Pelicans all in their win streak. Like these are all solid teams. So I think the Knicks have a case to go far, and I still think they're pretty high. I mean, listen, winning 9 of your last 11 is not easy to do in the NBA.
Well,
So
they after after the Bucks like 14, I think it was the 14-game win streak they had, and then it got
yep.
snapped. The next 9-game win streak was like tied for the longest win streak within the past like couple years. So like just it just comes to prove like winning at like consecutive games is at like it gets to a higher level each game they play. So
For sure, because you get people hunting to loot like beat you, right? Like in the NBA, whatever, you win 2, 3 in a row, who cares? 5 in a row, sure. Once you get to like 6, 7, 8, 9, people are gonna play a lot harder against you. And we saw that with the Hornets. Like Gordon Hayward came to the Garden, was given buckets. Terry Rozier was
yeah,
given buckets.
everybody treats the Garden as if it's their home court. It's actually
Right.
hilarious.
Which is why the fact that New York is doing so well, I'm excited because the Knicks are just killing it. We're
Now,
going mobile. But go ahead.
oh yeah, yeah, I had to go mobile real quick. I plug this into the charger.
Um, but yeah, no, I think with what the Knicks are capable of doing, I think what the Knicks can do, it I think the 9-game winning streak shows the Knicks at their best. They can compete with anyone, and when their superstars are playing, they are one of the best teams in the league. It's just going to get harder with those top teams like the Celtics, like the Bucks, like the Sixers. But we'll see. Their hot streak proved to
To be
me, at
honest, I
least, that
think I think they're more dogs when they play like those kind of teams. You know,
yep,
it's why I'll say against Charlotte and even against Sacramento. Now, I'm not taking away no shine from Sacramento. You know, like I said, Sacramento, great team. But against Charlotte and Sacramento, I just think the Knicks didn't bring their A game to both those games. You know, it was kind of
listen,
more of like
no, I agree. I was looking at the stats yesterday, and the Knicks missed they had 37 more shots than the Kings, or some disgusting ass stat where the Knicks had like 37 more shots, like 11 more free throws, like 21 more offensive
if they would
rebounds,
have
and the
just
fact that they didn't
if they
win,
would have just made free throws, they would have won that last game. So
right? And they got so many second chance opportunities. Mitchell Robinson, got to give him some love too. He's been killing it for the Knicks, being a
mhm.
great role player in terms of a center. Shot blocking, giving you 10 points on great efficiency. So, listen, I think the Knicks have a good core. Their young players are great, and I think we're going to touch up on that after this segment. But I'm really excited for the Knicks. I wish they can carry this momentum on because if they do, they're going to be a scary team in the playoffs.
No, listen. Now this is where the walking contradiction of me comes in. I see the Knicks. I'm previewing the Knicks ending it within relatively the fifth, and honestly, possibly even the fourth seed, depending on how much of a fight they're willing to put up. Also, when Brunson comes back, uh, if we see the Cavs in the first round, I'm not hearing nothing. Donovan Mitchell, I love you, my man. You got talent. You're a beast.
Westchester
But
product.
we're gonna show you why Danny Ainge messed up not sending you to New York. Why he think you not get sent? Why he think you sending you to Cleveland? We're gonna show you why. And listen, yo, if you're a Knicks fan, there is Stephen A. Smith. He does not belong to this organization. Okay, I'm sick and tired of hearing Stephen A. Smith talk about if Knicks get eliminated by Donovan Mitchell. This. And, listen, I don't give a damn. Okay, but I'm saying this right now. Knicks in 6.
Listen, that'd be a fun series. I think the matchups would be interesting. The Cavs got Garland, they got Mitchell, Mobley, Jared Allen. Knicks got Brunson, Randall, RJ. It'd be
Listen,
it'd be a fun series.
every team post game they say that the reason why it's so hard playing against New York is because New York is a bunch of dogs. We too physical for all these teams. So a lot of whether or not and it will come playoff time, whether it's the first round, the second round, we're gonna do damage to these teams. No team is walking on to the next round feeling good after playing us. Tell you that much.
And that's the one thing that I think not only us agreeing on the pod here, but I think everybody, even NBA analysts and everything, the Knicks play physical. Like you said, even if we lose in the first round, second round, wherever, the team going over in the next round is not going to be 100% healthy. We'll throw
No,
elbows. We'll like it. We're
yeah,
a gritty team. So you're right about that, and I agree. And I think to kind of carry to switch segments a little bit, talking about dogs, I think where would the Knicks be right now if it wasn't for this dog? And I'm talking about Mr. Immanuel himself, Immanuel Quickley, and his emergence this season has been
Emmanuel, the
it
go.
has it has been one great season to watch from this guy. He's gone
Oh
from
man.
someone that the Knicks have been talking about trading. Like the Knicks are saying, let's get rid of him. Do I know why? No idea. But this guy is right now the odds-on favorite to win Sixth Man of the Year. So, Swade, I want to hear your thoughts on Quickly. Does he deserve the love that he's getting? Should he be getting more love? Like, what is it like being a Knicks fan and Immanuel Quickly being on your team?
All right, so I'm a quote the smart man Tom Thibodeau right here. He's my guy. He's my guy, man. Yeah, I got nothing but love for Emmanuel Quickley ever since he was drafted. Had nothing but love for him. I know there were those trade rumors at the beginning of like around the beginning of the season, around November, December ish, where they were talking about trading him. And I was hoping to God that they were not going to put him in the package because he is our electrifier. All right. Now, which proves to show you last game he had a bad game, went 1 for 10 from the field. Um, I think 3 or 4 assists, couple boards. Um, it just proves to show you when he's not playing to his best potential, we don't really go that far. We keep games can be close, but when we got him playing at a high level, listen, it won't matter if we have Brunson or not at this point.
It's funny that you say that because I want to put a stat out there. I mean, out of every NBA player there is in the entire league, Emmanuel Quickly is top 10 in plus minus in the league, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, number two is Jokic, Tatum, and Quickly is like number nine. And to people that are not really stat nerds, plus minus means how many points your team is up when you're on the court. And this guy's like plus 277. Like that's insane. And he comes off the bench. Like you said, when this guy is playing at a high level, I don't want to like hype, I don't want to bring it out the gym, but this guy's one of the best point guards in the league. Like that might be a stretch.
Most definitely. No, most definitely. And I would say that's probably his only thing is where he's lacking because he comes off the bench, so he kind of has a role, and
Right.
he's more playing into that role. So it's where he's consecutively started these games now. Um, Even though Brunson started that last game against Sacramento, he got injured in like the first after the first half. So Emmanuel quickly picked up those minutes right back up. But playing consecutive games over 35 plus minutes, especially like that game against Boston, he played 55. Then boom, he
And
played another like 38 minutes the next game, and then boom, another 38 and 38 the game after. You know, that's one thing he hasn't become accustomed to yet is playing such long minutes and still having to find your offensive stride. And that's something like he can he's
he can
gonna
learn.
he can learn, but that's also if given the opportunity because at the same time, when Brunson is healthy, he's gonna go back to those reduced minutes where he's putting about, 28, maybe 30 minutes.
Right. And
So
and I think you talked about it, and I think that was kind of his like the best game of his career, no doubt, was against Boston. The guy played
mm,
55, I think out of 58 minutes, if I'm correct, 48 minutes and 10 minutes in overtime. Like
he played
that's
he
nuts.
played he played 55 minutes.
Out of 58, which is in itself insane. Double overtime. I think he scored almost every single bucket. This guy, double overtime, laying people, skipping around the court. This guy, like you said, is the electrifier. He's the microwave. This guy has that it factor. And I know, especially for Sixer fans, the only reason why I bring this up is him and Tyrese Maxey always get, talked about because they both to Kentucky. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Maxey's way better. Maxey's this guy." And listen, Tyrese Maxey's him. We've seen it. Like Tyrese
Listen,
Maxey,
Tyrese Maxey's got incredible offense. His offense game is no joke. I'll give him that. But when it comes to defense, he does not even step on the same floor as Emmanuel Quickly when it comes to defense. Nowhere
and I agree
near.
with you. I agree with you. That's
Emmanuel Quickly has a defensive rating of 115 when on the court. That's top five right now. That's up there with like Jaren Jackson and all them, and those are like considered depoys of the year right now.
Yep. And I'm glad that you bring it up because it goes back to that plus minus. Like this guy does it on both ends of the floor. And like you said, he doesn't even need to score the ball. Granted, he scored 38 against Boston with all that opportunity. And then he stunk it up against the Kings. But like you said, when you don't really get that much opportunity and you're going from playing 30 minutes a game, 38 minutes a game to 25 minutes a game, it's going to be hard to find your stride, which is why he shot like 1 for 11. But even against the Mavericks way back then when Luka scored that 60-20-10 triple double and Quickley started that game, the dude had 15 assists. Quickley can do it all. He can out rebound,
Mm-hmm.
any guard. He can pass the ball. He can shoot at a good clip. He's great defensively. Like I think if and not to say that if the Knicks didn't have Jalen Brunson, but if Jalen Brunson was out for 2 months, let's say, and Quickley really had that role, I think Quickley can put up 26 and 4 kind of numbers. Like Quickley has that kind of talent, and he
Well,
can do it on both ends of the floor.
well, bro, right now in his last 10 games, but also granted his last 10 games he has played 32. He's probably played around 32, maybe a little more minutes per game. But within those minutes, bro, he's averaging 18 points per game, 4 assists, and about 3.5 rebounds and a steal. Okay. So listen, I don't doubt that if he started with his but the difference is like I said, points it can all be deceiving, you know, at the end of the day because he could put up any stat line, but are we gonna be winning with those stat line?
Right.
So if you tell me he's gonna come start and he's giving me these minutes and he's not sacrificing none of the that lovely defense that he plays with the offense, then yeah, I'm all up for it. But if he's gonna have to sacrifice his defense to put in a little more offense into it, that's not really a win situation for us.
Right. Which I think the reason why it works so well with him and Jalen Brunson is because Jalen Brunson comes off the court quickly. He's got all this energy. He's going to guard the best guard out there, and he
Yeah.
does it at a great rate. I think what's stopping Immanuel Quickley from being great is I just need to see him be more of a pass first kind of point guard in situations because we mentioned it first, and I think we'll talk about it later on the pod. But the Knicks struggle because they're a lot of an iso ball kind of team. Yes, they rank
Oh,
top 5 in offenses. Yes, they can put the ball in the hole, but
yo,
Jalen Brunson, go
we
ahead.
rank we ranked 30th in the league in assists. We
Yeah.
average only 22 assists, like 22 and a half assists a game. It's actually crazy because when I think right now we've had about 20 something games when we've had over 26 assists and and it's crazy because like the win loss ratio is about like 15 to like 5 or like 16 to 4. So it just
Big
proves
big
to show
difference.
yeah, it just proves to show you when the ball is moving around the court. It's
And it's crazy because that's simple basketball. Everybody knows if you get everyone involved, everyone's going to start hooping, and then it makes you impossible to guard. And not to say it's Quickly's fault because Julius can pass more, RJ can pass more. Like it's a whole team mindset. But the way that Thibodeau has this offense constructed, and listen, I've said my comments on Thibodeau as well about his coaching style. But listen, he's got this team playing defense. On the regular season, their offense is good. I mean, Brunson's averaging 24. RJ's averaging 20. Randall's averaging like 25. Like they have
you
three
got
20.
three players averaging 20 right now.
That's what I'm saying. And listen, they're doing well. It's just RJ's buckets are coming on ISOs. Julius is coming on ISOs. Brunson is coming on ISOs. Like I would love to see Quickly just get in. And Quickly's buckets are coming off ISOs too, to be honest. Like I need to see this team get more involved. Quentin Grimes, who I think is a big piece of this team. This guy is young. Obi Toppin, I say it all the time. I
He
love
just had
Obi
nine
Toppin.
he had 19 off I believe it was 7 for 16 shooting yesterday against Sacramento. It's like we got so many weapons on this team. It's like so many weapons. And
Yep.
you know, if you're I kind of understand, you want your main guys to be like coming off hot and staying hot for the game. I understand that, you know. But like when you got RJ starting off like already going 1 for 9, I'm pretty sure like
Yeah,
That's
he
what
went 2 for 9 yesterday.
like he started off like 2 for 9, or like, you know, it's time to get Julius Randle wasn't much help either. He was like three
He was
three
like
for
one
like
for 7 or
3 for 12.
whatever.
Yeah. You know, it's like it's not really helping us at that moment. But we have so many other weapons. It's like, why are we not utilizing them?
And like you said, Quentin Grimes got his opportunity. Guy was balling out, making behind the back passes, shooting the ball at a high rate. Quentin Grimes is so much more talented. Like if you saw him in college, that boy was taking the ball up and
He was
saucing
he
people.
was killing in the Rising Stars. Like, come on. Like, come on,
Literally.
man.
And now he goes on the Knicks. He's a decent 3-and-D player in terms of defense, but then his offense is just catch and shoot threes or fast break dunks. Like this guy has so much more talent. Same thing with Obi Toppin, man. Obi Toppin is just fast break dunks and corner threes. Like this guy is special. Thibodeau put it in a way to tell your guys to pass the ball, swing the ball. Like the Knicks can be so much better than what they are now, is if they are implemented a better system, in my opinion.
One thing I always learned was, people's feet can never move faster than the ball. Like that's
Right.
just a known fact. Um, I don't know, like I don't know what to say to Tom Thibodeau, because then, on one hand we go through a 9 game win streak, and then
Right.
so it's like, what is it to say? But at the same time, it's a fact though, and that's the number one thing that kills me is when you got Julius Randle who goes at a high post and he turns his back around, and you already know the double team is coming. You
Coming.
already know that, but he will hold it. He will hold the ball a second or two longer just to make sure like that person is wide open to get that assist. Like that's what so I feel like when I watch the game sometimes I feel like they're counting on that stat, because listen, honestly speaking, you dump it as soon as the double team comes off, you dump it off real quick, and then that person dumps it off to the next open guy. Like they can't run faster than you moving the rock. It's not happening.
I I agree, and it's like, you got RJ Barrett averaging almost 3 assists. Julius averaging 4 assists. Brunson's the lead guy, and he's only at 6, and he's your point guard. Like, there's so many players like James Harden averaging like 11 assists. Like, there's so many guards that will put the ball in play in terms of passing the ball. Like, honestly, we've seen the 76ers twice now live, and I just feel like their offense is just so much more flowing, which is why they're such a big threat. You got Tobias, you got Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, James Harden. Like, you got guys that will post up and stuff, but they'll kick out. Like Joel Embiid's having a great year in terms of assists, and I think if
In my
Julius Randle
opinion,
had that,
he's the MVP. But
that's for another conversation. Check out the
yeah,
last episode if you want to see my first half MVP. Anyways, but yeah, no, I think Julius Randle, if he took a little bit of the mindset from Joel Embiid, and like you said, passed it just a second or two quicker, like he will get so much more assists. And if he is worried about the stats, you just got paid, Brody. Like who you don't need to impress nobody. Go out there and win the game. And I wish Immanuel. It starts with Quickley and Brunson, to be honest. Dish the ball more, get more people involved. I love Quickley. One of the bright spots of the Knicks. Hope that the Knicks lock him up and don't be stupid and trade him. He's my sixth man of the year, not because I'm a Knicks fan, but just of the impact that he has on this team. He
definite six
deserves the
man of the
love.
definite.
And like, listen, I got to give it to Brogdon. What he's doing, that boy is hooping for Boston. But Immanuel
Yeah,
Quickley,
he's Brogdon's are all right. Like he's definitely hooping, but it's not like his numbers are crazy up there itself. Like his past 10 games, he's only averaging about like less than 12 points. Uh,
and and what I'll say to that is, when you got Tatum and you got who's averaging 30, Brown averaging 28, like you
I
pick and choose
I
your moments.
well, I hear that, but it's the same thing for Quickly. When you're playing both besides R.J.
Right,
Barrett and Julius Randle, it's hard to get yours too. You know what I'm saying?
right. And I agree. That's why I think what's, you know, pulls Quickly away from not even Brogdon, but just anybody else, Norman Powell or whoever you want to name, is he does it on both ends of the floor. Great plus minus, and he's coming off the bench. And I think he deserved his name. That boy is Immanuel Quickley, in my opinion.
Retweet.
Um, I mean, to kind of bring it over, let's talk about, I don't want to say the reason that the Knicks even went on this win streak, but ever since the Knicks acquired this guy has been
Mm.
exactly what the Knicks embody. You're talking about
Uh,
dog. You're talking about
uh,
gritty. You're talking about
the key,
heart.
the key
And
to
I'm
my
talking about,
heart.
And that is Josh Hart, man. Not only
Josh
is this guy,
motherfucking Hart, man.
dude, this guy has all the heart in the world. And let's talk about what he did yesterday, dude. 6 offensive rebounds. The guy almost had a near triple double off the bench.
Yo,
Josh Hart, ever since he's joined
eight.
the Knicks,
He had
has been 9-2.
eight offensive rebounds, 15 boards total.
And he's a shooting guard. Like
Off the
coming off
bench.
the bench, off
Off
the
the
bench.
bench.
I'm gonna let you
Like
take it away.
If the Knicks would have just made 5 shots, at least 5 shots, yo, they could have blown them out. On a
I
regular
agree.
they shot 28%, man, from the three. On a regular on the regular decent shooting night, they would have clipped them
Dude
off
had
those
9 points,
second chance
7
points.
assists,
Oh my
7
god,
assists,
man.
15 rebounds, 9 points against the Kings last night. That is insane. But like I was saying, I kind of want to let you take it away. You made some comments, obviously, saying that you love Josh Hart. Clearly, he's a New York fan favorite already, but he's been 9-2 ever since he's joined the Knicks. Dude has been clutch, grabbing boards, doing it all. Great 3-and-D player. And obviously, Tom Thibodeau loves the guy. He throws him out there at all times. So, kind of like I asked you about quickly, Swade, being one of the biggest Knicks fans, how are you feeling with Josh Hart on your squad?
Yo, I haven't seen like and even though we gave up the farm for Melo, for that trade deadline. But I haven't had a happier trade deadline since that. Even though like I said, we gave up the farm for Melo. I love Melo. I love Melo. So it was like it is what it is at that point. But there hasn't been since then. This has been my favorite Knicks trade deadline move. Um, Shout out Josh Hart. He's got that motherfucking dog in him. All right, he's a beast. Uh, he's showing 60% from the three since he's joined us. He's outrageous.
Nuts.
Like
Absolutely
like you
nuts.
said, like you said, big shot. He's a big shot money maker. Yo, the way he can take it coast to coast off a rebound, take it to the
Yep.
other end of the court, layup, and one. Oh my god, he's a beast. He's a beast.
And
Listen, I got no complaints. I got no complaints. And I guess you could say like this is a complaint because my only complaint for him is, in my opinion, I don't think he shoots enough.
I was going to
I
say the same thing. I was going to say the
I
exact
don't
same
think
thing.
that man shoots the ball enough. Like, listen, Obi, I love you too, man. Obi, I get it, man. It's hard out here. It's a hard world out here. But there's just certain things that like Josh, my man is there. I'm yo, bro. Like you don't gotta hold back for your teammates, my man. You don't gotta hold back for your teammates. There's
And
just
I,
there's certain stuff in your bag that you can do that they can't, man.
it's so funny because I'm going to cut you off and then I'll let you take the reins again. But it's so funny because we were just talking about how RJ, Julius, all these guys don't pass enough. And now we're talking about Josh Hart. And we're like, stop passing and shoot the ball. But I think what makes Josh Hart so great is he genuinely is that team player. You need to grab a rebound, I'm going to go grab that rebound. You need an assist, I'm going to dish to the
The
better
man
shot.
is the
I'm open.
first one on the floor diving.
Yep, he's literally embodies heart. Like the guy has heart, and like you said, when he scores, the Knicks are like, I mean, obviously they're 9-2, but the guy comes clutch when it needs. I mean, you're looking at his game log with the Knicks; it's like 5 points, 4 points. If you didn't look at anything else, you're like, this guy's dog shit. Like, what is he doing on the court? But
Yeah,
just the
they don't
defense. Go ahead.
the the record stats don't show tip passes.
Right.
They don't show none of that, man.
Deflections. They don't show deflections. They don't show stopping the ball, causing turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Like Josh Hart really is what the Knicks needed because the Knicks bully ball, and that's what the Knicks embody is bully ball. And Josh Hart just fits in that style. And like you said, I wish the guy's got a deep bag, bro. When he was with the Pelicans, that dude was shining. Went to the Blazers, became kind of a spot up shooter, and then now with the Knicks, Thibodeau gave him the
I think he had a few 30-point games early in the season too on the Trailblazers. I'm not even gonna lie.
and dude, he has what it takes, like you said, to score 38. Like he had a game of 27 against Brooklyn earlier in the year. Like he has the capability to score. He just needs someone to kind of just tell him like, "Yo, go score." Um, so I'm in love with Josh Hart. I think what he needs to do for this team is just be another scorer. Like the rebounding is great, the defense is amazing, the passing. Like he needs to tell everyone else around him, pass the ball more and let me shoot the ball more.
It's not, not it's not even that because like I see the game against Sacramento, like he had open looks, and I hear the extra dish and all that, but we're at a point at the time of the game where we were down 14 at this point. Obi Toppin just like Clay, his last two shots, he had thrown a turnover or like he had went in for a layup and got his shit punched. And it's like Josh Hart had an open three for the moment, and then he gave it up and still dished it out right back to Obi for a corner three. And I'm like, listen, I definitely hear it. Get him into the zone, extra swing and all that. But listen, my man, you're shooting 60% from the three. We're down like 14. Obviously, like the last three possessions he gave us didn't equivalent to anything. We need to get some points up on the board right now. I'm feeling
Especially,
I'm
and just
feel
to cut you off, go ahead.
yeah,
Actually,
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially for yesterday's game, when you're having 15 rebounds, 8 of them being offensive rebounds, quickly shooting bad, RJ shooting bad, Julius
Yeah, turn
shooting bad.
around and put it up once.
Yeah, just go
Pump
out
fake.
there,
Give me
get a
one of those.
foul.
Give me one head fake. Give me one of
Yeah,
them. Put it up right afterwards, man.
no, I agree.
Riz, I mean, he might have to take some notes from you.
Nah, yeah, just and just put it
Uh
up.
huh.
I think not only Josh Hart, but I think a lot of NBA players would learn a lot from me, to be honest. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, we could be on a podcast all day with the NBA players learning skill sets from you, Brody.
Yeah, we could trust me; they'd get a lot better,
Yeah.
whether it's 1% or 20. So, um, where were we on? Josh Hart. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, put that ball up, man. You're strong. Clearly, you're strong enough to get 8 offensive rebounds over Domantas Sabonis. So I would love for him to come, kind of be put up 10 points a game, man. Like that's all we really need. I really love
He
Josh Hart.
averages. That's what like he's averaging right now for us. He's averaging about like 9.5, like around like 9 point something for us right about now. I mean, honestly, like I said, man, I think it could be higher. I really do think it could be
I
higher
agree. I
because
go ahead.
also at the same time, the ball does flow more with the second unit, regardless. Um, when it's usually if when Brunson is healthy, it usually comes out IQ, Josh Hart. Sometimes you got the mix of RJ in there, but
Right.
yeah,
Ob
then you got OB and then
Hartenstein.
Hart. And Hart, man, he's for another topic.
What you mean, man? Isaiah Hartenstein's Nikola Jokic light. That's what I'm hearing. So that man is him.
Bro, he looks like what we signed him for, right? Like the stuff that he did for the Clippers. And then, well, bro, I can't see you being 7 feet and missing a three like airball 3 foot layups. Like, come on.
Nah,
I
yeah,
that
he did do that. That is tough.
like I just can't. And I
And
like recent and even recently, just recent. It's like he's got butterfingers. It's like he can't hold. Like, how are your hands that big and you can't hold the basketball? Like, come
yeah,
on.
a lot of the dump because his bread and butter is that floater from like 8 feet from the free throw line, and he's not grabbing any of the dish offs. I
And
agree.
not,
I
and
think
not even that, and then even sometimes like the R.J. Barrett or Quentin Grimes will like or Immanuel Quickley the drive and penetrate and then the dish off to them like to him right under the rim and then he's like dropping the ball and then it's going between his legs and then boom it's turnover so something that like if you would have held the ball you could have put right up there and then that's 2 points.
no, I agree, and I think before we really carry on like the Hartenstein slander or whatnot, I think it's a great segue into the next segment of the pod, and that's really what is stopping this New York Knicks team. Like, what is holding them back from being that championship contender? Like everybody in the East, it's the Bucks, it's the Celtics, it's the Sixers, it can be the Cavs, and then the West is just a free for all. but nobody's really taking the Knicks that serious in terms of the media. What in your eyes is something that the Knicks are maybe missing, or like what's just stopping the Knicks from being that championship contender? Unless they are in your eyes, then yeah,
I'm about to say some strong words right here,
I think we're all
and
ready to listen.
let it be known. The Knicks, in my eyes, can be contenders. And let me tell you
Okay.
why. Let me tell you why. But it would be very hard for them to be contenders. The reason why I say they can be contenders is because they would have to play damn near almost perfect basketball, though. Because, in my opinion, now, yes, are they missing a piece that will solidify them, their chances even more? Yeah, I think they are like missing a good piece, right? And we can get into that topic maybe further on later on. But right now, if you were to tell me playoff start right now with the Knicks healthy, yes, they can compete. And the only thing and I say this because the only thing that they would really need to change up is one is taking care of the basketball. I think they rank like 28th in turnovers. Um,
Just giving up turnovers. Wow.
so they need to do better. They just need to do a better job holding the ball. I think they're like at 15th when it comes to like actually turning the ball over. So it's not like the worst end of the deal. But like I said, when you're playing up against those elite teams like Boston or Milwaukee, and listen, we've seen it before. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle has played big against these teams. So it's all about all the other guys now. Um, if you're securing the ball, free throws, major issue. The Knicks are averaging as a team like 76% from the line, and they get to the line like a pretty decent amount. They get to the line about
A
like
lot.
20. Yeah, so you got to make your free throws, especially like I said against these elite teams. Got to make the free throws because the Knicks rank top 5 in defensive rating. They
Yep.
rank top 5. So it's not a question about their defense. And one thing, like Tom Thibodeau says, is their defense will always lead to offense. So, and that's going to be another thing is what is going to be transitioning when you're getting stops and all that. Because one thing that the Knicks love to do is the Knicks will love to get stops, but then also at the same time they can go like 2-3 minutes without putting the ball in the
Oh,
basket. We can't do that, and that's the one thing that the Knicks have to work with because it's it's rare for that to happen when Jalen Brunson is on the floor and Julius Randle. It's rare for that to happen. It happens most of the time when Julius Randle's on the floor and you got like IQ will be there because even with IQ, Julius Randle's still heavily being the primary ball handler. Um, and yeah, like and it always goes back to passing the ball. When the Knicks are dishing and they get on all these open looks and everybody's on fire. Oh my God, what was it? Like a couple games ago, they had hit 19 threes
I
as a
that might have
team.
been against the Celtics. That might have been against the Celtics.
Nah, no, no, no. Because they were like on fire. They were
Oh,
on
it was
fire.
against the Nets when they put up 140.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and don't get it twisted. Like, I know that it's not the same Nets and whatever, but we're not gonna
Right.
sit here and say Mikal Bridges wasn't an all defensive person, like on an all defensive team.
Right.
Cam
And
Johnson got good defense too, so we're not gonna sit here and say, oh, and then
they
you
got
got
Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal. Like they got a lot
yeah,
of good wing. Nicholas Claxton, who's a
yeah,
decoy candidate. Like they got a good
exactly.
defense.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say, but I'm not gonna sit here and hear anything from all the other people. But exactly when they're shooting lights out and they're playing defense, in my opinion, bro, nobody's seeing them. Nobody
I
is seeing them.
And to kind of piggyback on that, I think for me, what's stopping the Knicks, and you alluded to it, but I just think it's we've been saying it the whole podcast. It's just their whole ideology of offense. Like I remember when Trey Young took over New York, Julius Randle got locked up in the playoffs. That dude was not doing anything. Granted, he didn't have Jalen Brunson. Granted, RJ Barrett isn't the player that he is now, but like that ISO bullshit when you're not Carmelo Anthony is not going to work. Like you can't just
No,
rely on that every single game in a 7-game series. And listen, Jalen Brunson's got that back. Like, he is crafty, he is shifty. He can go to the line, he can shoot the three, he can shoot the floater, he can shoot the mid range. Like, Brunson, you can kind of excuse with that because D Rose did that. Like, when Julius Randle was bumming it, D Rose was carrying the team.
Yeah, he
But
was.
Julius Randle can't do that. RJ Barrett can't do that come playoff time, especially against like the Cavs or one of these teams. Like, they are gonna need ball movement. Like you said, take care of the ball, stop the turnovers, hit your shots. But that's obvious. Everybody's got to hit their shots to win. But it's really just getting everyone involved because Julius Randle and honestly Brunson, I love Brunson, but they're not Luka Doncic. They're
Because
not
like
Embiid.
what do you expect when you have like Quentin Grimes showing like his second shot in the third or fourth
Or
quarter,
exactly.
and it's like clanking off the rim. Like I can't even be mad at the kid because bro, he hasn't even gotten into the flow. Like he's been playing defense for 30 minutes, running playing defense, and then he just got up his second shot. He doesn't even know what like his arms feel like noodle or his legs feel like noodle. He doesn't even know.
It's so funny that you say that because I want to give a shout out to Austin Rivers of all people. Austin Rivers was actually on the podcast and he's like, "Yo, I hate these little kids, man. I hate what basketball's coming into. Like these little kids are tweeting at me saying I fucking suck because I didn't make my shot. Dude, I'm a role player. I shoot 3 shots a game. Just because I shoot 0 for 3, like you go out in an NBA game, don't shoot a shot for 20 minutes and then shoot your first shot in the fourth quarter. It's not easy. And a lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, they're NBA players, but you go play pickup, right? The game's 11-11, point game, and you shoot your first shot and you miss, everyone's mad at you. How you going to be mad at me? I took my first
Yeah.
shot. Like, Quentin Grimes and all these guys need to get involved. And Julius
And
Randle.
that's on yeah, no. And that's on the team and that's the team because listen, it's not on just the point guard. Like, yeah, Jalen
It's
Brunson is a
not.
point. And listen, even though it is majority on him to get the team involved, but at the end of the day, like yo, it's there's 5 people on the court. That means the ball can swing through 5 people, man.
Yep.
I
And
can. They go possessions, man. Possessions without like Mitchell Robinson touching the rock.
it's so crazy because he gets so many offensive rebounds. Obviously, his bag isn't there, but dude, just pick and roll, throw it up, let him do something. He's going to
He's
get
an
fouled.
athletic freak. At the end of the day, he's an athletic
Yep.
freak.
And I think that's where it starts too. That what's stopping the Knicks is just getting everyone involved. Like, I don't know if they think like Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle has to carry this team. They don't. Like we said it so many times. This team has talent. Grimes is good. Obi is good. Quickley is good. Hart is good. Like Julius Randle doesn't need to score 40 for the Knicks to win. Brunson doesn't either. Like we was in Philly like a couple weeks back. Brunson had 30, Randle had 30, and they still lost. Like it doesn't matter about who's scoring all the points. It matters if you play defense and everybody gets involved, in my opinion.
100%, man. 100%.
So, we just talked about it. Obviously, we're talking about what's stopping the Knicks. We're talking about them not getting everyone involved and just stop with this ISO ball. And you kind of talked about it, and I want you to kind of allude more on it because you're talking about perfect basketball. But at the end of the day, not everyone is going to be playing perfect basketball. But the New York Knicks, this team that they have built for us in 2023 going into the postseason, are they contenders? Or they're pretenders. You said they're contenders, and you touched up on it a little bit, but I kind of want you to take the floor without this nonsense playing perfect basketball because we can't expect them to play perfect basketball. But realistically, why are they contenders?
In a realistic world that I'm living in right now, the Knicks get eliminated possibly second round depending who we play. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely. I am not scared of playing anybody in the East. To be honest, that's why I'm seeing, especially if the Knicks are healthy with Jalen Brunson healthy, and mind you, not only Jalen Brunson healthy, he's a big, big part, and we need healthy too. Believe it or not, Mitchell Robinson.
Yep.
Come deep time in the playoffs, he's gonna be a big person. We need healthy. But if the Knicks are healthy, um, even the second round, like honestly, if we see Boston, we see Philly. I'd say the team I'm scared of the most is probably the Bucks.
Yep, because they're long, man. They're lengthy, long, and they're great on defense.
And honestly, this stretch I've been watching Drew Holiday, and Drew Holiday's knocking down shots, all these threes. Like, oh my god! Like,
I mean, dude, Brook Lopez almost had a triple double with
what
blocks last night. Like,
what people don't understand is, listen, being offensively skilled is highly impressive, right? But when you got great offensive skill and you match that up with elite defense, nah, man, like you're not like you're close to being because let me tell you, man, that was always like Drew Holiday's number one weakness is couldn't really shoot, you
Right.
know, and that's the main thing with all these like Marcus Smart. Look at Marcus Smart, Depoy Player of the Year, right? Great at defense, but he can't shoot for shit.
He like what I will say is Marcus Smart. I would say more he's not a scorer because like
Nah,
I feel
Marcus
like
Smart can't shoot for shit. He can't shoot for shit.
all his shots I feel like are 3-pointers. So like, but
He
I
can't shoot.
get the direction that you're going to because what's great about Drew Holiday and what's great about the Bucks is like Drew Holiday isn't the only one. You got Giannis, who's great on offense, great on defense. You got Brooke Lopez, who's great on defense and will shoot the lights out the gym. Like they have a lot of those guys. Shout out my boy Bobby Portis. You know, Bobby
Uh,
Portis can do it all too.
The shit, like the shakiest one on defense is like Chris Middleton, and he's not even that bad.
yeah,
Like he's still lengthy.
yeah, it's the Bucks are a scary team, man. Because
So,
it's like, look, who's guarding Giannis on the Knicks? Randall. Like,
well, you
it's
see,
tough.
that's the thing. They don't. For the Knicks. It's always they do that switch. They play the switch like defense because
Yeah,
The Knicks got some like we bullies. We
yeah,
bullies, but at the same time though, they do play a lot of help defense. So one thing is like, and I seen against the Bucks. The last time they played against the Bucks was they did they built the wall to stop Giannis from driving, and it was working. The we lost, we end up losing that game because Drew Holiday in like the last 5 minutes became Steph Curry and was just hitting threes like that shit was just in his blood.
yeah.
So,
He's dude. I mean, like a lot of people say he didn't deserve to be an All Star, but he's one of the only two-way players left really in this league. To be honest, like you got Drew Holiday, maybe Kawhi if you want to consider him healthy, Jimmy Butler, but Drew Holiday deserves his recognition, bro. Because that boy's a dog.
but yeah, so like honestly speaking, so we see the Bucks in the second round, and like I said, the Bucks might take us, but it's gonna be a war. So best believe some of them players is coming to going to that Eastern Conference, busted and bruised up. That's for a fact. Like
I do agree
I,
on
I
that. I
I'll tell you this: if we see the Bucks in the second round, the Knicks will get at least 2 games. I see the Knicks will lose in 6. If I see
what I
if we see Philly, honestly, I think Philly's a toss up. Honest to God, I think Philly's a toss up. If we were to see Philly in the second round, I think the Knicks can beat Philly in the second round. And
my only thing
Boston,
with Philly, my just before you go on your boss, my only thing with Philly is Joel Embiid kills New York every time. Like I just don't know what the answer is to Joel Embiid. Mitchell Robinson can't guard him. Julius can't guard him. Like he's gonna get 30 free throws a game against the Knicks. That's my only worry. And in this 7 game series, like it's gonna add up, man. Embiid
I'll
is
say
tough.
this. I'll say this. Embiid kills every team he plays. That's just a fact.
That's true.
Embiid, but I will say this. Off what I've seen, Embiid honestly does not kill the Knicks as much as you think. Like Embiid is gonna get his 30 regardless. Like for that's what he's averaging. He's gonna
Right.
get his 30 regardless. And you're talking about a superstar like him. But most of these teams out here he's given, he gets his 30 with like his 30 with ease first like 20 minutes of the game, you
Right.
know, whatever. Sometimes he's putting up 40, whatever. I'll tell you this, when he gets his 30 against us, it's not no easy 30, my man's.
He's working for it.
He's working for it. Like that last game against Philly, but we had no Mitchell Robinson, mind you. We had Sims guarding him.
Jericho Sims. Yeah, and Sims was getting
Hardenstein.
washed.
And Hardenstein's soft. So
Yeah.
like, and he got his 30 clip. Yeah, he got his 30, but even though his 30 clip was still hard though. It wasn't like he was getting his 30 clip easy. He was getting tossed to the ground.
Yeah, he had 35 against us too. I remember it, bro. Cash my parlays. But no, he was dude, I just worry come fourth quarter when it's that bully ball is not gonna work. You got people like Ben Taylor calling fouls on everything. Like shout out Fred Van Vliet.
Yeah,
Just
shout out
like
Fred VanVleet for being a real one for taking that 5, man.
no 30K down the
Ben Taylor,
garbage.
you
But you
fucking Trash ass ref, man.
No, yeah. So it's like people like that when the refs control the game come playoff time. Joel Embiid's gonna get every call, which is what I worry about. And like
Don't for-
you
don't
said,
don't forget in the playoff time too, man. They let them dog it up even more over there. They
but
play even more aggressive.
what I'll say is I think you brought up a great point. The Knicks can't make free throws. So if it is a free throw battle, which Joel Embiid and Harden are the king of getting free throws, the Knicks are going to lose because they'll make their free throws. And Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle, the three best players on our team, they're not consistent from the line, which sucks because come playoff time, that is going to be a big factor. And that, to me, is why I think the Knicks kind of are
Here,
pretenders in a sense. Like, just to kind of
here's
go on
why.
devil's. Go
Here's
ahead.
why I don't see him as pretenders. Even though it wasn't much, he was in there. Jalen Brunson when he would play for Dallas, and he beat the shit out of
He baked
Utah.
Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, he
He
baked
beat the
Donovan
shit out
Mitchell.
of Utah. One thing, and mind you, the Knicks they were in the playoffs. The few young boys that were there, they did make the playoffs. Now, even though they did shit the bed when they played Atlanta, one thing I'll say is I expect and I do believe is going to happen is Jalen Brunson is going to go to that locker room and he's going to let them know what's up. Like, yo, listen, we all dogs. We all grown men out here. Let's put our big boy pants on and let's get to work. Because I just feel like that's what kind of the Knicks were missing that when they made it to the playoffs back in 2021 that season.
2021, yes.
So I think that was the main like that was like the main thing that they were lacking. Like Brunson, what Dallas made to Western Conference, right?
No, that was the first round, but the Mavericks did make it to the Western
No, but I'm
Conference Finals.
saying they made it to the Western Conference. So like,
Yeah.
even though he hasn't been like, even though Jalen Brunson hasn't made it like throughout his career all that time. Listen, that one short trip,
He's
like,
got the experience.
yeah, it put a lot of experience. So I expect him.
And
And listen, he's been a leader all season so far. So I don't expect any difference come playoffs.
and what I will say to kind of counteract my point with them being pretenders, when I think of contenders, I think of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, right? Coming out the East.
Yeah, of
Do
course.
I think do I think the Knicks will come out the East? I don't. Even if they play perfect basketball, like you said, I think they go against the Bucks. Can they take it to 7? I do think it's possible. Jalen Brunson plays out of his mind. If
Can I
they
ask you a
fix,
question? Is this Knicks team better than the Hawks team that made it to the Eastern Conference in 2021?
I do think they are, which is crazy to think because Trey Young had Bogey, Trey Young had Clint Capella. Like he didn't have DeJounte Murray. Like I think the Knicks are better, and I see the direction that you're going in. Nobody thought the Hawks were getting there, and they got there. So like you never know. But my only thing is like upsets like that don't really happen often in basketball. And I think they beat the Bucks. No, they lost to the Bucks actually in the
They
Eastern
lost to
Conference
the
Finals.
Bucks. They beat the 76ers.
Yep, exactly. Yep, they did. So
But
I
that's why
do
I'm
think
saying
better.
James Harden is more of a choke in the playoffs. This is why I'm saying I'm not really worried. Even though Joel Embiid is a beast, because at the end of the day, basketball is a team sport. So Joel
Yeah.
Embiid could be going for 40 or 50 a night. But like sometimes that 40 or 50 a night ain't gonna help him all series.
I think when I look at the Knicks' road, right, I think it's a lot harder than the Hawks' road was because you're gonna probably play Cleveland, then you're gonna probably play the Bucks or the Celtics, and then you're gonna have to play the Bucks or the Celtics again to make the finals. We're not. I know you're not saying they're gonna make the finals, but they've got a really hard road. So I think the Knicks ceiling, like
Now
I think they're very best they
I
can make the Eastern Conference Finals.
now and that's what I'm saying. I'm not here saying, like I'm being delusional saying like, oh, they're gonna be
It's our
I
year.
yeah, I'm just in a realistic off what I see and off what I've been seeing, just the Bucks probably like the scariest team in my opinion that we would have to see in the playoffs. And mind you, they actually won a chip within the past few like 5 years,
Years.
so it's like obviously they know what the fuck they're doing over there. Um, I like I said, Joel he's a beast in my opinion, MVP of the season, but like James Harden, man, when it comes to that playoffs, listen,
Well,
he don't got the stripes for me. So it's like I'm not
and
really.
I just think James Harden's role come playoffs time is different now. Like in Houston, he was had to carry the whole team. Like now it's a little different. So
But like
I don't
here's
know.
the thing. I feel like if Philly would have had Houston James Harden, they would have already won a chip by now.
I agree. I agree. But obviously he's not Houston James Harden. I think he's just taking a different role, which is
Yeah,
why we're gonna see
I just
choke
also don't.
artist James Harden a little less.
I don't even think it's a different role. I just the game's been influenced. So because we already know, man, James Harden in Houston was known for a lot of it flopping, a lot of it
Yeah.
was
Free
attracting the
throws.
fouls exactly. And now like the game has changed, so like a lot of it got changed up, and he's got to get adjusted to, and it's just not the same. So like obviously he's not the same, but
So let me ask, just to kind of segue into the final segment here before we go to the final one. What in your opinion, will mark this season successful? Like, do the Knicks have to win a playoff series for you to say, like, oh, this was a W season? Do they have
yes,
to make the
they have to.
finals? Like,
For me, they have to win a playoff series. Yes, doesn't matter. Actually,
and if they don't, do you fire Tom Thibodeau?
I mean, I don't see the if somehow the Knicks end up going below like the fifth seed and end up having to play like
The top three.
the top three, like one of the top three seeded teams, and we lose. If now listen, if we get swept, I most definitely will be extremely disappointed, and will say that because at the end of the day, like we knew getting Jalen Brunson was the team was going to go to the playoffs. Like, and
Right.
I don't know what anybody else thought. I knew that was going to happen. I did. People kept saying the play-ins this, the play-ins that. I didn't think we were going to be play-ins. I thought we were going to be playoffs regardless. Once it was all said and done. So, if we play the top three seeded teams, if we can get at least two, as long as like I see a hard fought battle, not like that Atlanta shit where we're getting fucking 20 clipped almost every other game. If I see a hard fought battle, like teeth and nails to the end, I won't complain. But if we see Cleveland, if we lose in say game seven, I'll be like, all right, you know, it is what it is. But honestly,
Right.
I still think we were a better team than Cleveland. I think we should still beat Cleveland. So if we see Cleveland, I think it should be a second rounder. And if the Knicks lose in the second round this year, then it was a way better season than anyone intended. Because I'm not gonna sit here and say even if we do lose in the first round, like I'm gonna still be proud of the season they put up because they still put up a hell of a season. I just know that depending on how they lose that playoff series, if they didn't put their whole effort into it, like
Will determine their future.
exactly.
And what I will say is, in my opinion, I think for this season to be like considered a W, like a success, especially with the way that they're playing, they got to win a series, right? I think
They
against
had to.
Cleveland, they have to. Like if you want, this is going to wrap into the final segment. I think the Knicks, if they want a future, if they want to attract free agents or just more name to them, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle need to go out there, get the job done, and get to the second round at least. Like you
Big
said,
time.
they lose to the
Big
Bucks
time.
or the Celtics. It is what it is. They're supposed to win the chip, like they're the top two dogs. But if you go out there and you play Cleveland and you get shitted on in five, or like look okay in six, like it's just not going to be a good look, and
Yeah,
it's
nah,
almost like they're gonna.
100%.
So for me, and the reason why, like I say, the Knicks are pretenders, I gotta see it to believe it. The Knicks do this to us all the time, bro. Get
Yeah, but
mellow.
look,
We're winning the chip,
I
never the
hear,
chip.
I
So,
hear you got to see it to believe it, but like, yo, bro, tell me you don't feel something different though with this, like this time,
dude,
because this is what I'm saying.
I do.
Now, it just the Knicks just look miserable when Jalen Brunson, and mind you though, Jalen Brunson has played over 65 games for us this like
Yeah.
this year. So, it's not like he's missed a lot of games.
No, not at all. I think that might have been
But
honestly his first few games out this season, to be honest.
yeah. So it's like, but when he plays with us, like when he's not playing, we look dysfunctional. We look like we're
Yeah.
not even ready to play. But when he's there, yo, man,
He's
and
definitely the leader of this team.
and here's the thing. Yeah, the Knicks were down 20 to Sacramento, but we only lost by 4 or 5. When
Right.
was the last time that the Knicks got clipped was that Dallas game. They took that L to Dallas in New York, right? And it was like, all right. Like I said, bro, the team's got too many weapons. Like they had to eat, like they had to wake up each other and be like, yo, there's no way we got this many elite ass dudes on the team and we're fucking getting 20 clipped because we should barely be losing at this point as it is.
Right. And I
Cause bro, a lot of like at their best, their bench are starters for a
I
couple teams.
agree. Josh Hart, Quickley, like I agree.
Even Obi Toppin, like
Obi Toppin, yeah.
when Obi Toppin has plays 35 minutes, bro, he's an easily. If Obi Toppin plays 35 minutes, he's an easily 18-8 or 10, like easily
I
18 and
agree.
8.
Dude, the guy's talented. They gotta play him more.
So
I yeah, and I think this playoff season is gonna
I'll
really
be honest
determine the
with you,
Knicks' future.
I don't think we get a big superstar to New York until Tom Thibodeau goes. I think Tom
And
Thibodeau. I think Tom Thibodeau set up the culture like the right way. He set it up the right way, but like you know, he's just not gonna get. He's just not gonna
I
be the one to get the job done.
and to kind of cut you off there, the last segment, I'm glad that you even bring it up. Honestly, is regardless of the Knicks' outcome, will they land a star player come free agency, whether it's the coming year or soon? There's a lot of reports by Brian Windhorst and all these other sports analysts. They seem like they know everything. Are like, listen, the Knicks are looking attractive. The Knicks, the culture that they're building is great. You say that you don't know if they get one. Does Tom and you say that Tom Thibodeau is going to leave or he needs to leave for them to land one? If they do, let's say, get a star player, what kind of caliber do you see them getting? Someone like a Kawhi Leonard, maybe, or someone a little bit smaller, like I don't know, like maybe a Kyle Kuzma, right? Like
Yeah,
a kind of a player like that.
let me tell you this, Riz God, because the Knicks are really like a piece away from,
A championship.
and let me tell you what that piece is. That piece is either that person being like Kawhi Leonard. Like, let me tell you, the problem with the Knicks is we don't have a person that can control the game
Yeah,
fully.
they don't have
Like
that. Like
like
Brunson
Jalen
is that
Brunson.
go-to scorer. I agree. Go ahead.
Exactly. Exactly. He's a go-to scorer. Go-to scorer. And yeah, he can manipulate and this and that. But when I say take control of a game, I'm talking about like, yo, we're,
Like the
we're
Kawhis, like the Embiids, like
yeah. If Kawhi comes to this next team that we have right now, if y'all thought the Warriors were a dynasty, I promise you, this would have been incomparable. This next
I
team with Kawhi would have been with Kawhi Leonard, but also that's another thing. If you're telling me we got this bullshit
half game every other game.
load management crap, I'm good off that. Like I'll say this, I was just like interested to see what's around like this upcoming free agency. It ain't really that
Right.
many shit popping players out there. But I'll tell you this, like I think James Harden is a free agent this year. But like it's basically all the players who are on their like 2 year or 1 year contract. But the 2024 free agency, now that's looking like a movie.
Giannis?
You talking about Giannis, you got LeBron James. Kawhi Leonard, Jaylen Brown, and that's now sleeper in 2024. If he is a free agent, I would love to take him, even though I do not. I hate them with a passion, the Celtics, but I do respect his game. And mind you, he's not old either. He'll probably just be touching the 30 mark or getting to the 30 mark around there.
Jaylen
But
Brown, dude,
yeah,
he'd be great. I mean, dude, we've
because
said it. If this guy was on his
like I
own
said,
team, he'd be a superstar.
now like I said, yeah, the Knicks, like I said, the Knicks need that one person to control the game. But then this is what I was gonna say. Also, at the same time, they just need another person who can honestly just take the load off, but could also play great defensively. Because at the end of the day, we can't just have too much offensive buckets like people who are. Because that's the one thing about Jalen Brunson is no matter the offensive bucket he is, he does give up on defense.
What
Yeah,
I
he
will
take
say, yeah, that's true.
he does take the he'll take the charges and all that at the key moments for the game. But like, let's be honest, if Jalen Brunson was healthy and Darren Fox was healthy, Darren Fox would have still gotten his 25 to 30. I mean,
For sure.
just like I mean, Jalen Brunson would have gotten his 30, whatever. But
I my honestly, I'm looking at stars. I don't know if the Knicks will ever land LeBron, Kawhi, anything like that. I think he's not a free agent for a couple of years, but someone that I would think would be so perfect on the Knicks, especially the way that this guy's playing right now, is the guy across town in Brooklyn, Mikal Bridges.
Mikal
That
Bridges,
guy,
oh my God, yo,
that
I
guy on the
swear to
Knicks
God, I
would
was
be
just having this
amazing.
conversation. If the if the Knicks
Listen,
had
you know,
gotten
Villain.
somehow, if the Knicks had somehow got Mikal Bridges and that trade deadline also, I, bro,
They would have had
I would have put
Brunson.
them at the Eastern Conference. I would have already took them to the Eastern Conference.
I agree, bro. Like, look at how he's playing, bro. This man is KD light. He's scoring 50, 40, 90 with like 23 points a
But
game.
then this is
Him,
another thing that scares me, bro, because Mikal Bridges is basically a way better version of Quentin Grimes, right?
yeah.
So what would that have meant if we would have gotten him? They would have just given him Quentin Grimes treatment. This is what I'm saying. Like, if Tom Thibodeau was shaky like that, man.
I agree, but I think what's different, which is what Josh Hart works so good, is Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson all have a history. And to be honest, like if the Knicks even got in Mikal Bridges, they probably would have traded RJ Barrett, to be honest, which I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't have mind the way that Mikal Bridges is playing because he's a lot more consistent and he's just a lot better of a defender. I think for a star player to come to New York, they got to go for that kind of superstar. Or not a superstar rather, but go for a Mikal Bridges. Like
Well,
go for someone like that.
one thing the Knicks I'll say they've been finally doing, shout out to my people out there in the front office, Worldwide West, Scott Perry, shout
We
out to
love
my
you.
guys out there. Love you guys. Yo, we finally got people out there in the front office who are running shit the right way, okay? First off, Phil Jackson, all right. You need to be castrated or some shit because what you did to us was fucking awful, was despicable. Like, you know what? This is a great podcast and a great show. So the things that need to be said about you will be said on
Well,
different times. Yes.
yep.
Okay. But yeah, the front office are doing a great job. The Knicks actually got picks within these upcoming years. Multi, at least a few dozen in the first round.
Yeah. And they're good. And they're like good.
And
They're doing good
yeah,
and they got picks.
yeah. Another thing is contracts. Also, we didn't sign no outrageous or like the last outrageous and ridiculous contracts we have left within this team right now is D Rose's contract and Evan Fournier's
Which
contract,
and they're
which we're
veterans.
getting which is getting rid of by the end of this season. So by the end of
Yep.
this season, we're gonna have players. Jalen Brunson underpaid, 100% underpaid. Julius Randle is paid what he's worth. RJ Barrett, honest to God, like I'm just waiting for that breakout, like him to break out his shell because the money he got paid, he's worth it. Like he really is. But like, and that's the thing about basketball. It's
He
all
needs to
mental
play. He needs to
because
play like it.
is like I for him it's just when Jalen Brunson is on fire and then Julius Randle's like on fire. It's like he doesn't know where he finds himself. But it's like, yo, forget all that, man. Just hoop. Just
I,
play your
I
game.
I agree. And RJ got paid a bag, and I just need him to play like he's getting paid. You got people like Jordan Poole who got paid a lot, giving buckets. Tyler Hero giving buckets. People in his kind of same play range. I need RJ Barrett to go out there, prove to this Knicks team, prove to this fan base that you're worth it. You're worth that number 3 pick that you are, and lead us to the promised land. It doesn't have to be this season, but bring us to a finals one time in your career. Um, but yeah, I think what a way to talk about the New York Knicks. I'm so excited, Sway, that you were on. Talk about the Knicks. We love the Knicks near and dear. We might be in a playoff game. Worldwide West. One of our buddies might hook it up. Who knows? Stay tuned. We might have a podcast at MSG when the Knicks win the chip. I don't know. But before we really wrap up the pod, Swade, I kind of want to let you take the floor. Once again, thank you for being on the pod.
Riz
What do
God,
you
my
have to say to
man,
close it
appreciate
out?
you for having me. Appreciate you. Yeah, listen, I'm just excited. Like I was saying earlier, man, I just want to hit this fast forward button. I just want to see the Knicks in the playoffs. Listen, if you guys could remember, man, 2021 Knicks won one playoff game, and they felt like a 4 on the Richter scale in New York that day.
Yeah.
Yo, imagine when they won one playoff series.
I'm so excited. Like if you remember Cy Talk NYC, the
You
Knicks
know
win
what? Let
and
me
they
tell you
just
this, Riz.
shitting on Trae Young.
To touch back on that last one, I'll tell you this: what will officially have like a superstar or like that one big star if the Knicks win a playoff series? Because I'm telling you, man, the person who wins a champion who brings the championship to MSG
Stamped.
will stamp the god. Like yo,
Yeah.
bro, that man. Ah man, you know what? We'll save it for the near future, Rays, because they don't know,
Yeah.
man. They don't know. They don't know.
Listen, New York deserves a championship. Michael K was on First Take, and he was saying the Rangers are bringing home, which I swear to God, I hope they bring the cup home. But Stephen A. Smith's like, fuck hockey, that doesn't count, which, no, not fuck hockey. Rangers bring it home. But the Knicks, the Yankees, someone bring a championship to New York. We are hungry for it. And maybe it's the Knicks, whether it's this year or next. I'm really excited for them.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
Swade, like I said, I'll let you kind of take the floor, say whatever you want to say. The floor is yours, and then I'll close it out.
Nah, just want to thank you for having me, Riz. Yo, great. Yo, it's always great when I can have a near and dear topic conversation about the New York Knicks with one of my homeboys. Get to share some of the ideas and whatever my thoughts were. I know you guys might think I'm crazy or might think I actually speak real shit out here, but thank you guys and watch my boys kick some ass in the playoffs. Go New
And
York, go New York,
go, New
go.
York, go. And with that being said, before I do my round out, play Obi Toppin more. The dude's a fucking bucket. Anyways, with
Oh
that being
yeah,
said,
the man
go
fucking
ahead.
Philly, man. Obi Toppin.
I just want to do this little reiteration. Maybe I put a clip in the pod if I figure out how to do that. We went to go see the Knicks play at Philly. Obi Toppin put up 17 points, and I left the stadium saying, Obi Toppin's the mayor of Philly. And guess what? To you Philly fans, you did nothing and just sat there and watched. So, Obi Toppin, mayor of Philly, hold that L like Swade is doing. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching episode 9. It's been your boy, RizGod, Swade Mamba, signing out of the RizPod. See you guys.
Peace.